Good evening. Welcome to Saturday night's edition of SEC Baseball Reaction. I'm your host, Chris Lee, joined by Graham Doty. It may just be the two of us tonight. We'll see if we have Jay Greason or Alfred Esmond joining us, but at least you got the two of us. And here's what we've got that's going on in the SEC so far. Missouri has pulled maybe the stunner of the college baseball season. Beating Texas A&M back-to-back nights. The Aggies now are going to need either 4 wins in a row in the SEC, with 3 of those coming at Georgia next week. Good luck to you there. Or a run in the SEC tournament paired with maybe a 3-1 finish. I don't even know if that'll get it. Most likely they're going to need to win the SEC tournament. Anyway, however you slice it, A&M is in a world of hurt, and Missouri has pitched unbelievably well this weekend. We'll get into that. Vanderbilt beats Tennessee 10-6. Big win for the Commodores to even the series. Kentucky beats Oklahoma 8-5 in the first game of the day. Texas comes from behind for a 5-2 win over Florida. As we do this, we've got Arkansas and LSU, I believe, is 12-1 in the 7th. So barring a miracle, LSU is going to win that and take the series. And we've got Ole Miss and Mississippi State. The Rebels have tied the game at 1. Just as we started the broadcast, I looked up and saw Mississippi State throwing the ball all over the place, which has been a little bit of a theme this year. Graham, big day in the SEC. We'll get to it. I think we'll start with Missouri and A&M because, boy, are there going to be some issues stemming from that, besides A&M missing the NCAA tournament potentially. But we remind you, help out the people who help our show. You can help the show in a lot of ways. You can become a member. We're going to have some members-only content tomorrow night. That's just $3 per month. You can support our social media channels. You can like this podcast. And you can support Chair Bundy. They have an array of terrific products that are good for your health. They're good for athletic recovery. They have the cherry juice bottle. You can see mine is empty because I use it. They've got the cherry juice concentrate pouches. You can take those on the road with you. I'll be taking some of those to Hoover in a couple of weeks when I make that trip, I believe. And they got the gummies. If you want them in gummy form, you can get them there. You can also get the melatonin gummies to help you sleep at night. What do they do for you? They reduce soreness. They increase recovery. They help support immunity. They do all kinds of stuff. Pretty much anybody who is everybody in the world of football and college sports uses Chair Bundy products. You can too. Go to chairbundy.com. Use the promo code SE20 for 20% off your entire order. Graham, my goodness. When we started the weekend, it never occurred to me that A&M would lose a game to Missouri. And it sure never occurred to me after last night, after Missouri got 1, that Missouri would do it again. Missouri had a shutout today against A&M and booted a ground ball with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth, or it would have been 4-0 instead of 4-1. Yeah, I mean, Kendall Rogers had a tweet. You sent it to me, kind of basically saying there could be consequences other than A&M. I mean, look, it's not over yet. You never know what's going to happen. A&M has got starting pitching good enough to go through Hoover and win, as long as those guys can go. But, boy, it's looking like they're going to have to do that at this point.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't care if they sweep in Athens next weekend. I just don't know what that would do for them. It just kind of seems like all of their eggs are going to be in the basket of they got to make a run in Hoover. So I mean, Chris, like you touched on it a little bit there. Like this was an embarrassing loss for Texas A&M. I mean, this game they scored a run, but like it was with 2 outs in the 9th inning on a play where the shortstop for Mizzou got a little anxious and just booted it. Like A&M had 2 hits. They were both in the 6th inning. I mean, that's it. Against that Missouri bullpen and like ERA and whoever Mizzou had on the mound, like that A&M offense couldn't do anything at home. I will say, like their crowd was great. Like they were just trying to will a victory. I mean, it looked pretty full. They were slapping the aluminum seats and all that stuff, making all kinds of noise. Like they were doing their best, but man, uh, I mean, we were asked about it last night. I mean, to me, like you can kiss their NCAA tournament chances goodbye unless they win in Hoover.
Yeah.
And after the game, I mean, I've texted it to you like while they're wrapping up the broadcast, all they were showing was shots of Texas A&M players like on the field and in the dugout. And Chris, there were a lot of sad faces, like lost, puzzled looks. I mean, you could just tell it was like reality hit in, and everybody was just thinking like, all right, this is it. Like this season is pretty much cooked.
Yeah.
That's just what it felt like watching it live.
By the way, quick correction. Did I put the wrong team in the wrong spot in the title. I had Arkansas rolls. LSU was rolling in this one, just as it won at 117 last night. That didn't roll in that one, but yeah, my apologies. Sometimes you get in a hurry, and you put the wrong thing in. You don't check your work. Let that be a lesson to me. Yeah, I mean, I feel a little badly for Michael Early. Don't know him. Seems like a nice guy. Walked into a tough spot. It's kind of been a tough run for the Aggies ever since the last out of Omaha last year. We know what happened the remainder of the week. But my goodness, I mean, I will say one thing, okay? And we did not discuss this because I'm like, it just doesn't matter. If you want to go back and say, was there a little bit of we should have seen this coming? I'm going to give you Missouri's last 3 weekends in conference play. In fact, let's give you their last 3 weeks, period. Starting with the Alabama series, they lose 7-5, 7-3, 12-1. Much better run prevention there than what the Tigers had done all year. I mean, ERA and league play, I think, had to be over 10. Georgia last week, we said, hey, was Georgia just a little sleepwalking through the series? It won 9-2, 5-2, and 4-2. Georgia can score 9 runs in an inning. The midweek games, the last 2 weeks, they lost 9-3 to Kansas. Not great, but and 6-5 this midweek. And then they go to A&M and do that. I really didn't think it would matter, but the point is Missouri's pitching has gotten a lot better just the last few weeks. And maybe that's just having guys, getting them out there, getting them time to develop. But since Oklahoma put 46 runs on them a couple of weekends ago, and remember Arkansas got 51 back first or second weekend in April, Missouri's pitching has gotten significantly better.
I mean, it has. Like it just kind of seems like they kind of found some guys that they lean on and trust in situations. It might have taken them way longer than they envisioned, but like, guys, confidence is a real thing. So like they get that win yesterday, you get the monkey off your back. We're not going to go over. And then you could tell like they were having fun today. Even when it got like pretty super close and intense at the end there, like when A&M had the bases loaded, like everybody from Mizzou was on top of the dugout, still happy and excited. It wasn't really like, okay, here we go again. How are we going to lose this one? So
yeah,
it all kind of started last weekend, as you said. I mean, it was pretty close against Georgia. Like they did have their opportunities and moments. Like they did have the leads in like the 8th inning of some of those games. And then, Georgia just does what Georgia does, leads the country in home runs, and Georgia just knocked the ball out of the ballpark. So, there comes a certain point in time where like Mizzou, they know they're not making the tournament. They have nothing to lose. Like they have zero pressure. All the pressure was on A&M this weekend. Like they needed these to make the NCAA tournament, especially with Georgia coming up right around the corner. A&M look tight, they play tight, and they just blow a massive opportunity. Their RPI takes a massive hit, and Giggan Bart says absolutely brutal. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it other than it is absolute brutal loss.
I don't like using words like brutal and embarrassing in baseball where anything can happen, but that really was. And Tyler beat me to where I was going to go next. Sam Horn threw today, only 2 2/3 innings, but they were scoreless. Tony Newback, who was pretty good for them a year ago, was really good for them today. He's not been good this year. I think he was coming off injury. And Xavier Lovett closed the game out for them last night. You might be developing a few arms in Columbia, which is good to see because that's been tough. For A&M, I just cannot figure out what happened to that lineup because it is so talented. I think they've got, at a minimum, 2 major leaguers in it with Sorrell and Laviolette. I just don't get it. Quinn says, didn't realize they lost to Missouri again. Yeah, they did. Watch the end of it. Hey, you win tomorrow and you go and sweep Georgia and Athens. I'm going to say maybe I'll let you in, but boy, that is.
You got work to do in Hoover. That's what that means. You got to win at least.
You can't go 0 for Hoover. The RPI has dropped now to, I believe, 49, 50. Mm-hmm. So, and winning tomorrow will not raise that much. I mean, it'll just keep it from dropping again.
Tress says, explain this in SEC football terms. Good question. I'll try my best. Let's say Mississippi State beats somebody in the ballpark of Florida, Texas A&M, South Carolina from this past season. That's what that would be in SEC football terms.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it would be like them beating Tennessee and
the difference is like A&M now, like they're not making they're probably
right.
Tournament. So that's I was going around a team that was hovering around 500 football wise.
Yeah. Mike Rapp says, does tomorrow's winner Vandy Tennessee get a guaranteed national seed? Let's talk about that one for a minute. I thought Vanderbilt looked really good today. Vanderbilt ended up stealing, I think, 7 out of 7 to start the game before Cannon Peoples threw a couple guys out. They got a home run from Braden Holcomb. I think this was only the second time all year that Tennessee hit more than 1 home run in a game and lost. So there's that. So big win by Vandy today. They got a better start. I thought better. The line won't reflect it today for Vanderbilt, but Cody Bowker was better. Like Miller Green came and gave up a couple of his runs. By the way, Tennessee went to A.J. Russell late in the game, Graham, and just let him pitch it out, which I'm surprised. I thought he'd be their guy tomorrow. Vanderbilt hit him hard pretty quickly, but Vanderbilt gets to even the series, and came close to winning last night. Hunter Inslee doesn't take away a potential home run, and Vanderbilt may walk out of Knoxville already having won the series. Inslee, by the way, has been tremendous in that series, defensively and offensively. Hit a home run today for the Vols. But Vandy will throw Connor Fennell tomorrow, but I thought looked really good today in winning in Knoxville. I know Tennessee is not invincible the way it used to be at home, but boy, that's a rivalry series. That is a place where Tennessee has given Vanderbilt fits in that building. So big win for the Commodores, who have maybe their best pitcher going tomorrow.
So I know we have a lot of Tennessee fans, and hopefully more and more will pile in as we go on. I guess, unless I missed it, if I missed it, somebody correct me and tell me. But if I'm a Tennessee fan, I wouldn't want to know or have somebody ask Tony Vitello, like, what is the game plan with A.J. Russell? Like the reason I ask is, like, prior to this weekend, he was at 8 innings all season. Yeah. I know they want to take it easy with him. And then, like, out of nowhere, he goes tonight and he was really good. Like, he goes 3 2/3 tonight, 5 strikeouts, only gave up 2 hits. I mean, like, yeah. I would just want to know, like, what is his role going to be down the stretch? Is he going to be a bullpen guy, or are we going to lean on him in the rotation?
I would say that's the one good thing if you're Tennessee is that you got Russell 3 2/3 today. And other than getting hit hard right off the bat, he was pretty good. But yeah, I think Sam had said he wasn't supposed to throw more than 50 pitches this year. It's his draft year.
You mean innings?
Innings, not pitches. 50 pitches, he would have just about hit that today. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean that's.
But see, like let's say that is true. Do the math. He was at like I think 7.2 innings. So like let's say he starts. Like common math is like 10 outings, 5 starts. That's 50 innings.
Yeah.
He doesn't have 10 starts the rest of the season.
Yeah. No, I don't get it either. Now I was like they were down 4 when they brought him in, and their bullpen's been shaky lately. So I'm just thinking I didn't get it there. Like if they'd been up a couple of runs and they wanted to use him there, I'd be like, okay, go for it. Get your series win, lock it down, and worry about tomorrow. But at that point, you will have locked in a series win.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't happen that way. And by the way, Vanderbilt pulled Sawyer Hawks for the ninth. He got hit a little bit hard by Tennessee, which had been one of the few times he's been hit all year. He got hit a little bit last weekend too. It didn't show in the box score. And I'm wondering if they pulled him to maybe have him to close tomorrow. But some interesting pitching decisions in that one.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look at Hawks 36 pitches. I mean, you've seen him way more, and you've seen him in person this season than me. So is that something that he can handle? He can throw almost 40 pitches one night, and then the very next day, he still has more juice.
I don't know that they've used him like that, but I would think he could. He's a guy that they built up to be a starter. Now, look, he didn't pitch 2 weeks ago in Oxford, and it was allegedly because of a funeral. Last weekend, they didn't use him in a Saturday game where I thought they would use him, and then they used him for Alabama in Game 3. Had a little lesser workload, pitched a couple innings, and again, the box score didn't show it, but he got to hit around a little bit. He got hit around immediately today. Gave up home runs to the first 2 batters. Now, that was Keelan and Fisher, and that can happen to anybody, right? So I don't know that we put that on Sawyer Hawks, but yeah, that'll be interesting how the pitching is managed tomorrow. Mike had asked about national seeds, if one of them's clinched. I don't know that either team clinches anything tomorrow, but I'll tell you this, Vanderbilt is 4 in the RPI after tonight, and Tennessee has dropped to 15. And it's got to go to an angry Arkansas team next weekend.
Yeah. So I guess 2 things on Tennessee. We have Josh in the chat now with us. So perfect timing, Josh. So he says that Tony put AJ out there for confidence, and then that the game plan is long-term, not short-term. Okay.
Yeah.
Like what do we consider long-term? I mean, like Russell, he's a junior. Like the game plan, like he's a prospect. Yeah. He's going to have options like professionally. So like we're getting
big
to
options.
The season, like the math isn't mathing. Like if he's healthy and if he's good to go, like why not start to utilize him?
Yeah, I didn't get it either. I mean, again, if they were up today, well, I mean, and I mean, if it's a confidence play, that's a little concerning, maybe. So I don't know. I still I was very surprised when he came in the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then the other thing for Tennessee, if they don't win this series, I mean, what does their postseason look like?
Well, and that's the thing that I was going to bring up. Okay, I mean, I get maybe trying to strategize it out in a way that Josh said. But one of my first thoughts was, hey, you need to be playing in your ballpark. And you lose tomorrow and you lose a series in Arkansas, and you might not be doing that. I mean, at this point, if Tennessee loses tomorrow and loses in Arkansas, it might get a host. If it gets one in Fayetteville at 16-14, I think anybody would say objectively is Tennessee one of the best 16 teams in the country. Nobody's going to argue that, even with the recent slump. But, man, they're in danger of going on the road to start NCAA tournament play. So, and look, maybe tomorrow they smoke Vanderbilt, and this is it's old news. Maybe they go to Arkansas, win a game or two. Because if they get one tomorrow and get one in Arkansas, they're 17-13. They're hosting. Now, I don't know that they're a national seed because of the RPI. and because there's so many teams in the league, and non-conference strength of schedule is not going to be favorable to them if the NCAA uses that as a tiebreaker. But yeah, I'm kind of with you for the same reason there.
Yeah. And Josh, I think you tuned in like right before I asked. So if like I missed it, tell me, but I'm just curious if like Tony Vitello, if he's been asked about Russell and like his role, because I haven't seen anything. I don't know if he has been asked and like he's like, okay, our game plan is we want him in the bullpen moving forward, or if he's going to be in the rotation. Just curious. But like Tennessee is a fascinating story. I mean, like we just got done talking about how A&M goes from being the number one team in the country to not making the tournament. Another fall would be Tennessee going from number one to not hosting.
Well, see, Josh, here's why I take issue with Josh. I don't know that it's all confidence because his fastball below has dipped the last two outings. And I was just kind of listening at that point and trying to do some show prep, but I thought they said his fastball was down to maybe 90, 91 tonight. And correct me if I'm wrong. We're here to get it right. But that's a lot more than confidence. Because at big league level, when your fastball dips a mile or two an hour, that gets flagged a little bit. So, look, I hope Josh is right. I hope A.J. Russell's okay. I hope he's back to throwing 97, 98, what it was before. But that was kind of in the back of my head, and I was like, okay, if I heard that right, that's a little concerning.
Mm-hmm. And Josh, I agree. Like RPI is flawed for baseball, but
I agree.
This totally. Is what the committee.
But it's what they use.
Yeah, we talk about it because the committee values it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Tennessee could, in my opinion, Tennessee could lose out. And in my opinion, still be one of the top 16 teams in the country, and they won't be hosting at that point. They'd be 15-15. But
I don't think they're going to lose out, though.
No, they're not. I'm just saying, for example, I would say even if Tennessee did lose out, I still think it's a top 16 team in the country. But the metrics will not be there.
Gotcha. Got some interesting stats. Like Kentucky is 8-2 against Oklahoma in baseball, basketball, and football. It's impressive. Wow.
Yeah, let's talk Cats. Kentucky, because we were worried about Kentucky coming into the weekend. Kind of saw that one maybe slipping away from the Cats in terms of getting back to the NCAA tournament. You end the season today, Kentucky's in. Cats are 12-14 in the league. RPI of 32 have taken the first two from Oklahoma and frankly have their biggest pitching edge of the weekend tomorrow with one of the best number 3 starters in baseball on the Hill in Ben Cleaver. But today, Nic McKay started, but Ethan Walker was the guy. He gave him 3 scoreless to finish. Ryan Schwartz, who we have not talked about all year, was a star for them today. 3 for 3, knocked in 4 runs. And we talk about Cade Crossland, Oklahoma. And, like, when he's on, they're really tough to beat. Not the case today. He gave up 5 earned in 3 innings.
I'm impressed with Kentucky. So they get to Kyson Witherspoon last night, and then like today, like Chris, they immediately get punched in the mouth. Like they give up 2 runs like right out of the gates, and then how do they respond? They respond by plating 4, and then they kind of took the lead, and they had the lead the rest of the way for the rest of the game. So this is very impressive for Kentucky.
I think we froze Graham. Graham, you're frozen if you can hear me. I'm going to hit David Keith Williams' comment here. Oklahoma's been consistently ranked in baseball. I would not say they're a very good team, he says. I disagree. They're a good team. You got an ace on Friday night that would pitch for anybody and just about anybody in the Friday night role. You defend well. Love the way you play. That's just this league. I don't know if you're an OU fan. And maybe just kind of getting used to the SEC, but the SEC is just brutal. Week in and out, you were up against it with everybody, and we said this all year. unless you're playing Missouri. Well, guess what? that ship has now sailed too, with Missouri taking 2 of 3 from Texas A&M. So I think Oklahoma's a good team. Good team. I think could go on the road and win a regional, which is probably what's going to happen. Oklahoma will be a 2 somewhere. It'll throw Karson Witherspoon against a 3 seed. It'll win that one. And then you'll be waiting to see if Cade Crossland can give you a good outing on Saturday, which he can. Been totally capable of doing. I believe you're unfrozen, sir.
All right, sorry. I'm again hotel Wi-Fi. Like when you're in your hotel room and you hit like a certain point and the Wi-Fi resets. That just happened to me. I was like, what in the world is going on? And I was like, oh, I'm not connected to the internet.
We had the frozen still shot of your face for about a minute straight.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Let's got some LSU fans in the chat. We'll get to them in a minute. Let's see if that one's over yet. I mean, it's been over for a while, pragmatically, but yeah, 13-3 Arkansas falls to LSU. I guess consolation for Arkansas maybe is that was a run. I don't know. I think actually playing that one out would have benefited Arkansas. Their bullpen's been a little bit more maybe trustworthy. I'm outside of Evans and Cowan, who've been just unhittable. But Arkansas's probably got more guys you trust. But LSU just smoked them today. LSU won last night at 117. Anthony Eyanson, 6 shutout innings. That is incredible to do against that lineup of Arkansas, which I think is maybe the best in the league. Eyanson pitched a complete game shutout last week. I don't know where he would be. We have not talked about him in the pitcher of the year standings, and I'll give that a little bit of a glance. But it might be time to start putting Anthony Eyanson on that list.
Yeah. So this series, like, does it say more about LSU or Arkansas?
Man, I don't know. My gut feeling is Arkansas because I almost always give the benefit of the doubt to a struggling team because it's this league. But, man, Arkansas just really has not been consistent in a while. And, again, some of that might be their schedule. That might be all there is to it. I thought last weekend was a weekend that they got well. They're going to flip the switch. But, man, they have lost. Okay, they lost to Georgia, lost to A&M, lost to Florida, lost the series, and now lost to LSU.
Yeah, they've dropped 4 of the last 5. They're like, to me, they're just a giant puzzle to me because it's not like they've been playing awful until this weekend, especially today. Like, even their series that they drop, the games are relatively close, and then they go to Alex Box, super tough place to play. LSU was ready and prepared for it, and then you just see the Tigers take them to the woodshed. So, I mean, I don't know. And then, like, Arkansas, they got a big one next weekend with Tennessee, and then LSU has a gimme. Like, give LSU 3 because they got South Carolina coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you'd rather play Missouri than anybody right now, but maybe not. Although Carolina was competitive in those last 2 games.
They were, but, I mean, I feel like every 12 hours you just hear something out of Columbia, South Carolina with something going on with that program. So
yeah.
Who knows what that's going to look like with 1 weekend to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, and again, like LSU needed this. Like last weekend did not go well for LSU. So they're back home. Like they just kind of hit the reset button and then like they were amped, ready and prepared. And they win this huge series.
It feels like a million years ago that they lost the series to A&M last weekend. But, I mean, they were close games. They pitched well. I mean, if Eyanson can give him that, and you know, Cade Anderson has been oh so consistent other than the 2 starts after the 135 pitch count in Norman. You know, if you got Case and Evans, starting and pitching well, they may be the team to beat in the league now.
Yeah.
I think they probably would be after this weekend.
What a difference a weekend makes. Like LSU just played A&M, dropped the series in College Station. In that same ballpark, we see a winless Mizzou team just take care of business. Like, I don't know how to explain it, describe it. It's just insane what the past 2 weeks have looked like.
Well, I think that's focus. I really do. I don't know what else to say. Quinn said South Carolina wasn't competitive in third game once they got going. Yeah, you're right. But my point is Carolina didn't come out and just throw in the towel from inning one.
Mm-hmm.
They showed up to play the last two games.
Yeah, they made it interesting late, especially game 3. What do you think of Josh's question? He says, what if nobody in the SEC is that good? That's where he's at. It's just a lot of meh.
I think that's unlikely. Look at the mock drafts, and especially the pitching. I'm not buying.
I think it's like a big part of it is like if you're watching us, more than likely you watch the SEC and mostly SEC. So like you kind of have an idea of what everybody is, and you kind of know what everybody's warts are. And then we don't really pay attention to what happens as much in the ACC and across the country.
Yeah.
But I kind of think I'm with you. Look at the draft, look at what scouts are saying, and then look at recent history of the last 6 years. It's been all SEC and Omaha.
The SEC outside of the SEC this year is 324-63, an 84% winning percentage.
Jeez.
Now I get that some of that is beating up on whoever in the midweek. Not like the SEC is the only league that does that. Second is the ACC, a 77% winning percentage. Everybody else is, let's see, Big 12 is 69%, Big 10 is 62%. Everybody else in the 50s or below. And there's 29 conferences in college baseball.
He did clarify. He's talking about the whole country and not just the SEC.
Oh, you mean is the country down?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd have to listen to the scouts and see what they say about the college class. I mean, it doesn't have the superstar power that it had last year with Cags and Condon and Christian Moore and some of those guys. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you've got some really good college arms as starters. I guess the bat class, I mean, Laviolette was supposed to be the class of it. He's probably dropped to, from number 1 to maybe middle of the first round. I don't know where he settles.
We just kind of been spoiled. I'd say the last 2 years for sure.
Yeah.
We've had Charlie Condon. Like we had Paul Skeens. Like Paul Skeens is one of one. Like there's nobody else like him. And then like who Tennessee had Burns. We touched on that last night. Burns goes to Wake Forest. Like he was a top 8 pick.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I would tend to push back against that. I could be wrong. But I feel like the quality of play this time of the year is exceptionally good.
These are also the dog days, everybody. I mean, like you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then once you kind of hit Hoover, it's a reset button. Like these are the dog days, and especially with all these players. So like everybody within, let's say, the past 10 days, like they've had finals, and then they've had graduation. There's just a lot going on at this time of year.
I mean, do yourself a favor. One thing I love about the SEC tournament, and there's been some times I've said I think it's kind of meaningless this year. I don't know that I believe that anymore, given how tightly packed these teams are and the seeding and hosting implications. But I always love to watch that tournament just to go and watch, just to sit in the press box and just watch the talent that rolls out game after game after game. And if you got the luxury of doing that next week, I guess most of you are working and don't just have, 12 to 14 disposable hours during the week. But if you do, watch it because the baseball is incredible in Hoover.
Yeah, either watch it or go to it. Like it's great for the family. It's affordable for the most part. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Let's see let's break down LSU and Arkansas tonight. I touched on Eyanson. Gage Wood got hammered pretty well. And goodness, the better part of their bullpen got hit too. Bybee, Fisher. Goodness.
Yeah, we just
LSU got homers from Aaron Beatty. They got 2 from Jake Brown and another one from Ethan Fry, who I think hit one last night, if I'm correct.
What's scary, and Bear Jones went 0 for 3 tonight, and they did this to Arkansas, so that's going to happen. But guys, again, I think you and I were pretty high on LSU. I mean, I picked them to win in our preseason thing or bet that we have.
Yeah.
I got LSU in Texas, so hopefully my odds are good. But I mean, again, I do think a large part of this is when you play and where you play, and LSU. It was just all cylinders clicking this weekend, and tonight it started with Eyanson. He was awesome. The 11 strikeouts, and then just Arkansas couldn't really figure out the pitching at all tonight.
I'm going to be very interested to see how the committee, and we got another week of ball, sorts these teams out. LSU's up to 7 in the RPI. LSU and Arkansas both get hurt a little bit because they both played Missouri and South Carolina on the weekends. Both took all 6 games. So you get to build that in their conference record, and conference record will be considered, obviously. And I think you win 18-19 in the league. Obviously, you're hosting, and maybe you're hosting 2 weekends. But that part will be interesting, seeing how the committee sorts that out. Arkansas has only got 13 wins in the first 2 quads, which is a little bit light for the territory that they're trying to get to. Now, I think if you watch ball, you're going to say, hey, that's a top 8 team. But I still don't have any idea how this is going to sort out with national seeds.
Yeah, I don't either. That's what makes it fun down the stretch. Getting a lot of LSU conversation in our chat, which is good. David Keith Williams says he would not be surprised if South Carolina wins 1 against LSU next weekend in Columbia. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I mean it's the Brandon Stone night is when they've been tough, although they weren't last week.
I just kind of think that Ole Miss outing for him is kind of like the anomaly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was too. And Josh just talked about the top end talent last year, and he does have a point. The hitting talent is not that this year. The college bats, I think, are way down, but I think the arms there's as many good, durable ones that have proven something in this league that I remember probably ever. I mean, we don't ever talk about Riley Quick that much. He's a first round arm.
Yeah, when you mentioned that to me yesterday, that really raised my eyebrows, and that's something that is what started to generate here lately, just because of the tools that he has, and I mean he's a big frame too.
Yeah, and Zane Adams, same thing. I can't remember if Zane Adams is draft eligible this year or next year, but he's getting some. I don't know the first round discussion, but he's going to be a pro starting pitching prospect. I mean, you could have. I don't think it's going to happen. But crazier stuff has happened than say Liam Doyle, Cade Anderson, and Kyson Witherspoon all going off the board in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think top 10 is more like it, but you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you got a team that's, I don't even remember what the draft order is. If you've got somebody that is, maybe going to be in playoff contention. I mean, heck, you could grab Liam Doyle and slot him as a setup guy for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Witherspoon could do the same thing. I don't know why Cade Anderson couldn't do the same thing. And Doyle and Anderson are lefties. Who doesn't need a power lefty?
Yeah. Josh
was the best hitter in the league.
That would have been my answer right there.
Player. Best hitter right now, like guy you don't want to face or had the best season. Because I think Robbie Burnett's probably had the best season at Georgia. But Ike Irish is, I think, the guy I don't want any part of. I'll take the other guy, Andrew Fisher, too. Because Fisher gets good hacks. He walks a lot. He makes you throw him something. Those, if you just said, Chris, gun to your head, guy on the mound's got to get an out. Who are the two hitters in this league right now you don't want to see? I think it's those guys, those two.
Mm-hmm. I just feel better about Irish, especially defensively. It doesn't matter in college, but like moving forward, like for Fisher, where's he going to be? Like you're either going to have to pick first or third, or maybe somebody puts him in the outfield, but he's going to have to find a home and stick to it defensively.
Yeah. Well, and this year came with an explanation because of that shoulder. I mean, when we talked to Butch Thompson, and people have heard us that have been on here before, his intention was to catch him. You know, which says a lot about the freshman they've got behind the plate again. So
we got another super chat from Quinn.
Oh, hey Quinn. Where did it go? Crazy to say we might sweep Ole Miss next weekend. I mean, look, Missouri just took the first two at A&M. I don't rule anything out, but that feels like a tall order.
I would agree, but I mean, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And I mean, like, Ole Miss is losing right now. But again, Ole Miss hasn't won in Starkville in 11 years. So, I don't know. It's going to be a tough task, but again, the past 2 weeks alone, like, nothing would surprise me. Like, nothing. Nobody, not even the biggest Mizzou homer, had them winning on the road in College Station.
No.
And
we didn't. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I was just gonna say, and two hitting A&M, almost a shutout tonight too.
Didn't mean to, but we didn't get to Texas, Florida yet. Florida jumped up in that one. We had a weather delay, which probably helped some things. I saw when Texas made its move, Rylan Galvan hit a home run, and then Flores followed one way out to left after him. And then Jonah Williams had a bases-clearing double that broke the game open. Hey, if you're Florida, you've got the series even with Texas. Peterson was good today. Again, I think the weather is the thing that knocked him out. That was unfortunate for them because he was rolling at that point. Matthew Jenkins pitched today for Florida, by the way. We talked about him potentially coming back. But Texas got it back. Snapped the 4-game losing skid. Luke Harrison was good again. Dylan Volantis did Volantis things at the end of the game. But you couldn't hold Texas's bats down that long, and that 6th inning was pretty explosive.
So we should have talked about this last night, but I kind of think it happened when we were like live and on the air and everything. Did you see everything last night with Williams and what happened?
No.
For Texas?
No.
Whenever we finish, like, go on your phone and just type in his name and it's going to pop up. I've never seen anything like it. We got a lot of Texas fans in here right now. Let me know what y'all think about what happened last night. I know tonight he had the big hit that created separation late for Texas, but so Chris, since you missed it, so Texas is down by like 6 or 7 runs, whatever it is. Williams is at the plate, and I mean, after every pitch, it doesn't matter what happened, ball, strike, he didn't even swing at anything. Like, when I say he's talking trash, like, he's talking trash to anything that was breathing. like anything that was breathing. And he eventually gets walked and does a massive bat flip when he's walked. And he's talking trash to the catcher. He's talking trash to the first baseman. And Chris, like when I say every umpire went to first base to talk to him to calm him down, like they had to do it. And even Schlossnagle had to come out of the dugout and be like,
Man.
like take it down a level. I mean, it was I've never seen anything like it.
What brought that on?
I don't know, but I mean, again, it's when Florida was up big, and that one at bat, like the bat never came off his shoulder, I don't think, but he was able to draw a walk. You need to watch it because, like, I'm surprised nobody brought it up last night.
Yeah. Texas rocks it back. Welcome back, sir. Having a little fun at A&M's expense. Poor Bart. I love Bart, man. That guy shows up, win or lose. And
Yeah.
always nice. Yeah.
Texas. Yeah.
Phillips doesn't get better holding runners on. He won't pitch moving forward. Well, I don't know that I believe that, but that's the thing today. He was good. It was the runners thing that got him in one home run. Stuff was pretty good, but I think every runner that pitched, I think every runner that got on scored. So
to me, that's got to be like a conversation for Marcus Phillips and Frank, right? I mean, like
yeah.
they're gonna have to come up with a strategy and figure something out.
I think, their bullpen too just has not been good lately, which is surprising. They've got a bunch of dudes that throw hard, but you know what? I'll tell you what they could use. And you don't appreciate, I shouldn't say that. I know Tennessee appreciated this guy, but they really could use a Kirby Connell in the 7th, 8th inning, or maybe both. Just a guy that is a change of pace. Everybody on that team throws 95 plus, I think, just about. And Connell had pitched, 10 years or so in Knoxville and didn't break 83, was a lefty.
Yeah. All right, look at what David Keith Williams just said, talking about Williams. I didn't realize he was only 17.
Yeah. Plays baseball like the 5-star recruit he is. Yeah, that's probably fair. Says he's aggressive and the team needs some of that. Yeah, SEC's rough though.
And this game is hard. It'll humble you quickly.
Yeah, Texas got a rude awakening. Not that they're not really good, but it's just hard to careen through the league the way that Texas was doing it.
Mm-hmm. No, hey, he bounced back today. Williams did. He had the big hit today.
Josh brings up the Phillips thing again. I'm sure Marcus Phillips is to blame some here, but it feels like that staff holding runners on has been a thing for a couple of years now. Am I imagining that? Josh will know. If Frank Anderson is as good a pitching coach as there is anywhere, maybe the best.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been a flaw for them.
Yeah. Like I can tell you this, like from an Ole Miss point of view. So Ole Miss hired a pitching coach, Joel Mangrum, and one of the first things he did when he got on campus, he went up to like Hunter Elliott and a lot of the arms that he knew would be on the mound a lot, and he said, "Show me your pickoff move." This is mostly for Hunter Elliott, and Elliott did it, and he said, "Your pickoff move is garbage. Like you really need to work on it." So they had to overhaul it, and now Elliott leads the SEC in pickoffs. So like that is a part of a game. Like if you don't address it, teams will certainly take advantage of it. So, that it's like a minor part of the game, but it can certainly impact the game too if you're not too careful about it.
Well, and you're not doing your guys a favor if you're trying to get them to the majors, because with the rules changes now, It is going to be a much bigger factor. I'm going to be very interested to see how the big leagues treat him.
Ooh,
Because, I mean, and maybe they just say, hey, we can correct it.
Josh said got
yeah.
37 stolen bases on Phillips. Holy smokes. That's a lot.
And Peebles is a pretty good catcher. He's got a nice arm. He threw a couple guys out at the end today. What have we not hit?
Let's see what we got.
Because we've only got, 5 games in the books. Missouri beat A&M. We got that one. We got Vanderbilt, Tennessee. We got Kentucky, Oklahoma. We talked Texas, Florida, and we talked Arkansas, LSU. So what we've got left is Ole Miss, Mississippi State, which is in the 5th. State up 5-1, and Georgia, Alabama tabled to tomorrow.
It's a lot of baseball in Tuscaloosa tomorrow. So they'll pick that game up in the 5th, and then they got to play the 3rd and final game. So that's a long day, but an important day for both of those teams.
Yeah, so we'll have, let's see, tomorrow you will have Connor Fennell against TBA, 2 Central on ESPN2. I think our man Josh thinks that'll be Tegan Coons. I would think so too. You got Kentucky with Ben Cleaver against Oklahoma and Malachi Witherspoon, noon Central on the Plus. We've got Leighton Finley and Zane Adams in the 2nd game tomorrow, and then the Riley Quick game finished. Alabama was up in that one, 6-2, I think.
Correct, in the top.
In the 5th? Yeah. So Alabama, if it gets that one, will even the series. A&M will try to salvage a game tomorrow, 1 Central. Will Libbert and Miles Patton. And Mississippi State scored another run. We've got Arkansas at LSU. I think that's TBA versus TBA. I don't think Kason Evans has thrown this weekend, right? Zach Cowan did. But I think he could come back for more potentially. No, he went 3 innings. Yeah, well, Cowan could give you more than that. Because those were Friday. Florida and Texas, that will be Aiden King and Jason Flores, 1 Central on the app. And then we got game 3 of Ole Miss and State right now. So, yeah, I guess that's it.
What's interesting about the Ole Miss State series is the weather is going to be awful tonight, like any moment now in Starkville. It's going to be even worse tomorrow. It's like the game plan was they weren't going to try to play at all today and then try to play on Sunday. And then they kind of switched it. And then they were like, let's try to get it in tonight. And remember, like we touched on last night in that doubleheader, Ole Miss did utilize Mason Morris. Now, he wasn't impactful, but like Ole Miss needs all the help that it can get bullpen wise. And so like the fact that they turned around and played the game today, that's a big deal for Ole Miss and its bullpen.
Yeah, Ricky notes Clemson lost, Florida State lost today. That does help the SEC national seeds, which let me check the scoreboard. I forgot to go outside the league today. So let's see. You got UCLA is 1 out away from beating Illinois. UCLA is looking more like it's going to be a top 16 seed host. Yeah. We've got Utah's beating Arizona, but it's early. Oregon beat Washington. So Oregon, I think, is going to get more in the picture of the hosting discussion. Let me see where Oregon is RPI-wise. I'll check that in a minute. West Virginia beat Kansas State today. I think if they'd lost, they were 23 in the RPI, I believe, coming into today. So West Virginia, I think, still in the hosting picture. The Kansas State win will be good for the RPI. Vanderbilt, I think, is a national seed if the season ends today, but Vandy's still got some work to do. We talked about Tennessee earlier. I don't know what to make of where they're going to go in terms of playing in the postseason. at this point. And Oregon State won again. Oregon State is going to host, and I think maybe get a top 8 based on the RPI. Losing 4 at home to Oregon didn't seem to phase the RPI at all for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So people have an issue with that, but the metrics are there. And let's see. Kentucky, we didn't talk about this enough, but Kentucky now I think just needs one more, and I would think it'll get an NCAA bid. But I don't know. I mean, if they get swept at Vandy next weekend and maybe bow out first game of the tournament, that could get a little dicey.
That puts them at 12-18.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll get there. But they've been left out borderline before. Cal beat Florida State. That was in Cal. Not a good loss for FSU there.
That's a long way from Tallahassee, though.
Yeah, so your RPI right now in order: Georgia, Texas, Auburn, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Oregon State, LSU, Florida State. If they go straight down the RPI, those would be your 8, what we used to call national seeds, hosting 2 weekends if you win the first. And your next are North Carolina, Clemson, Coastal Carolina, Alabama, UCLA, Tennessee, TCU, and Irvine has climbed back into there. Okay. I didn't know if that could happen or not because the teams that Irvine are closing with are not very good. But maybe you're picking up some help with other teams losing.
Yeah.
I think right now, well, I'll go through it tomorrow night. We'll save that maybe for our members.
Okay.
Parting thoughts on the night. You got a team of the day, player of the day, anything like that?
Well, my team of the day, without a doubt, is Missouri.
Okay.
Just the
I'm
fact.
going to go Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Not been easy for them to win in Knoxville. We gave Missouri last night, I think, but Missouri would be on the medal stand. And good gracious, LSU. Demolishing Arkansas like that, I don't care where it was.
Yeah. Also, I saw it in the chat. I do want to touch on it before we wrap up. Somebody mentioned what the SEC did today was softball. I don't understand it either. I don't get it. I couldn't imagine if they did that in baseball. So if you didn't see it, Chris, they just waved the white flag, the SEC did, and they just declared co-champions between Oklahoma and Texas A&M, and they're not going to bother to play at any point today or tomorrow for the softball championship.
Is it a weather thing?
Yes, the weather, it's awful. I looked it up.
Okay.
It's raining right now in Athens, and it's an 80% chance of rain all day tomorrow in Athens.
Okay. So they just said, we're not even going to bother. We'll send you home.
But I can't remember them doing that for baseball.
Yeah.
Has that happened?
Not that I remember. I mean, I think you'd wait it out, but that sounds like a money-saving move to me, maybe, which is not fair, but.
Well, softball, they rotate across the conference. Like everybody in the league hosts the conference tournament for softball. Like they're not a neutral site location. Okay. But I just thought that was interesting that the league decided to go with that.
Yeah. Player of the day, Anthony Eyanson, perhaps.
What, 11 Ks? What he finished with?
Well, the biggest number was the 0 of the runs scored against him. So, you know me, I'm always leaning towards a starting pitcher who just dominated against great offense. Let's see. What's wrong with Tennessee? There's a lot of things wrong with Tennessee. There's also a lot of things really right with Tennessee. The defense let you down again today, a little bit here and there, especially if you included holding base runners is an element of defense. I think the bullpen's let you down in general lately. But there's still enough talent. Tennessee can still get anything it wants to get, I think. But a lot's going to have to get better. Now, I'll tell you this. If they don't play at home, and if they go to a big ballpark somewhere, especially with a lot of foul territory and stuff like that, where there's a lot of room when a ball gets away to roll around and give somebody a couple of bases. And by the way, that's also describing Omaha to some degree. And that's the thing, that the non-conference schedule is really killing them right now, because the RPI is at 15, and you want to. I say that they're not playing well in Knoxville. Like, of all the things that has shocked me this year, Tennessee potentially losing 4 straight series at home when they're not there yet, and I'm not saying they're losing tomorrow to Vandy. We'll see how that goes. But if they did, that would be something nobody had. And maybe they play better on the road for one reason or another. I don't understand why, but didn't see that one coming.
I just think if you watch Tony Vitello and they post all of his post-game press conferences on YouTube, you got to watch them. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth. But one thing that's obvious is, like, it seems to me that, like, he's trying to figure this team out. And, like, he's trying different things on the field, off the field, and, like, he's trying to push all these buttons, and, like, nothing seems to be working. And he's just trying to figure it out. Maybe he'll find the right combination. Maybe he'll start to push the right buttons. But, clearly something is going on, because they haven't looked good in the last 5 weeks now.
Well, I think Dean Curley made another error for them today. And I don't remember how much it cost him, but I was watching. I'll give you a compare and contrast. Vanderbilt turned 2 big double plays today with Jonathan Vastine, who we don't talk about a lot, but he's an exceptionally good defensive shortstop. You just kind of take him for granted. Tennessee pitching could use some of that, and it just hasn't been there lately.
I'm trying to pull it up where they are defensively, because when you watch them, they will make, like, their defense is just like, yikes. Yeah, they got the second most errors in the SEC. Only Mizzou has more.
Yeah.
So defense is definitely an issue for them.
Yeah. But you see teams sometimes that are playing horribly this time of year make a run in Omaha, win it. We remember Ole Miss 3 years ago. Oh, Quinn says we missed a super chat. The comments are coming fast and furiously tonight, so our apologies. Gosh, it must be way back there. Oh, this is the one. I saw it and I thought I put it up but didn't. Says they think they more than likely take the series against Ole Miss next weekend. That'll be a toss-up. How many series has Ole Miss lost in Oxford?
Tennessee, Arkansas. That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Both of those were – Arkansas was super early. Tennessee was what, like 3-4 weeks ago?
See, I think Auburn – could get one of 3 and still host 2 weekends potentially.
Yeah, I do too, especially if they win a game in Hoover.
Yep. Number 1 strength of schedule, 13-10 quad 1, 6-1 quad 2. Worst case scenario, if they get one, that would be 17-13 in the league. 17 wins in the conference is a little bit light for a national seed usually, but this is not the typical year.
Mm-hmm. What they have in their back pocket that nobody else has is the strength of schedule. Like that.
Yes.
That's their golden ticket. Like, it's a bright neon lights, everybody can see it. So the fact that they have that, and then they're gonna, be good just enough SEC wise. So yeah, they're in fantastic shape.
If you wanted to ding them, it would be for two things. It would be for 6-9 road record, and it'd be 8-4 quad 3. But the rest of the stuff is pretty loud. And let's see. I feel like they got the bad end of the road schedule too, from memory.
I think some of those quad 3 they've lost to UAB twice.
Okay, which is not all right. I hate the way they do the quads. That's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, but it's what they use. Like sometimes a quad 3 win can be a team that would get an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. I think they need to tweak the quads a little bit, but hey, not my thing.
Yeah.
Let me check that out. See the lowest RPI loss they've had. That would be, UAB's 161.
Mm-hmm.
That's not awful.
So remember, UAB, they hired Casey Dunn, who lit it up at Sanford. Mm-hmm. I think he's trying to get it going at UAB.
Yeah, I mean, in their road series too, at Kentucky, at Georgia, at Texas, at Tennessee. That's not exactly easy. They didn't play Missouri. By the way, one team this year did not play Missouri and South Carolina. Can you guess who it is?
Is it Auburn? It is Auburn, isn't it?
Nope, Vanderbilt.
Vandy, okay.
Which explains why that RPI just keeps staying in that range.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what.
Well, and again, they took not one but two West Coast trips this season. Nobody in the SEC does that.
Yeah. Quinn agreed. I guess Quinn, I didn't see when he posted. I guess that's agreement with the way we broke down the 17 wins should get you 2 weekends. And you did beat Vandy on the road. You did beat them at home. You did get Tennessee on the road. And let me check on Kentucky. Yeah, that was in Lexington. Where Kentucky's been kind of mediocre at home by Kentucky standards. But anyway, I don't think anybody's dying to go to Lexington to play baseball most weekends. As competitive as they are. I mean, Kentucky was in just about every series this year.
Remember when Auburn played Kentucky, that's when the men's basketball team was in Lexington.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest, I think, is making my point. Quad 3 or 4 is tough in baseball if the other team throws an ace. It's not like basketball. That is. I didn't really think about that as a pet peeve, but he's right. I mean, the wrong starting pitcher can make a quad 3 a quad 1.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the chat is coming to a consensus for Tennessee that it is a stolen base problem and a defense problem.
There's no doubt about it. And I think I'd feel a little better about them if the bullpen had not been a little shaky the last few weekends.
Yeah, especially here the last 2 weeks.
Because, I mean, if you just strike everybody out, then, defense doesn't matter. But
so what do you think's going to happen in that series tomorrow? Are they going to be tight? Or are they going to be loose?
I'll tell you what I thought would happen. I thought Tennessee would take the first 2 and Vanderbilt would get game 3. But that's not how it went down. Now, look, last week, you remember they beat Auburn on that walk-off, and they were really wound all weekend. And it kind of worked against them. They were a lot more mellow the first 2 games. I think you'll see a chippier Tennessee team tomorrow.
So you live in that state. How big of a deal recently has that rivalry been baseball?
Oh, it's been enormous. It's been huge.
Actually, or is it just a social media thing?
No, it's big. I mean, that was the one thing that Vanderbilt had when everything else was horrid. And Tennessee would sort of there was a lot of making fun of Vanderbilt for being good in baseball, because who cared about baseball, while they're losing and everything else. And then Tennessee got successful, and the tune in that changed quickly. So that's made that series pretty heated.
Yeah.
And fun too, by the way.
So Vandy, they're looking for their first series win in Knoxville. Is it 21?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a rocker lighter team.
That was a good team.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Mississippi State Ole Miss? We didn't really hit that one, and we're not going to stay up for that one to be over, but it's 6-1 at this point. And let me check on Karson Ligon. Five innings, 1 run. And this is really bizarre. I mean, State starting pitching had not been good all year outside of Pico Cone. The bullpen had been a disaster lately. The defense had been a disaster. And then they got the one team that you didn't want to get stylistically as much as anybody in Kentucky, swept them, and now looks like headed towards taking the series from Ole Miss. But I think more importantly than that, I mean, Evan Sierra, 15 strikeouts last night. That might be the most out-of-the-blue performance in the league this year. And now tonight, Ligon's dealing, and he's been very rocky most of the year. And we had a collision with an umpire here in Starkville.
I think it's a combination of both. So for whatever reason, like a game plan for Ole Miss in certain series, like they will be super aggressive and they're going to swing at the first couple of pitches. We saw it 2 weeks ago at South Carolina. That's when Stone had that complete game victory when he threw like 80 pitches or whatever. And like I watched a decent amount of the game last night with Sierra. Same thing. Like Ole Miss is going up there swinging out of their shoes, and like all Sierra's doing is he's just putting it over the plate. I mean, he's like 90 to 92, and like credit to him for being able to locate and everything. But like, there's sometimes I just don't understand the thought process and the approach for Ole Miss, and like I knew it was going to be a challenging weekend just because Ole Miss. It's been a long time since Ole Miss has won in Starkville. If you're Mississippi State, this is why you make the change with Lamonis, because imagine if Lamonis is still there and they do this. They win the series against Kentucky. They win the series against Ole Miss. Guess who they have next week? Missouri. It's in Florida. So you're looking at closing the season with 3 conference wins, and then they're probably going to make the NCAA tournament. So that's why State made the change when they did. And unless they win the whole thing, no, I don't think they're going to hire Parker, because we saw it before they hired Lamonis. Like Gary Henderson, who was a head coach for a long time in the SEC, he took Mississippi State to Omaha, and like trust me, he wanted the gig. He didn't, and State didn't hire him. So
yeah,
unless Parker wins the whole thing, like they're not going to hire him.
I just saw something I've never seen on a baseball field. Are you watching this Ole Miss game?
I'm afraid if I turn it on, like my hotel room would explode. Remember,
I know. Well, they hit a ball to Luke Chang, and he's going deep in the hole towards third base. Momentum is carrying him towards third. Gets rid of the ball and is kind of like rounding off his. He's the momentum is carrying him. I mean, and he probably ran another 20 feet after he got rid of the ball, but he ran right into an umpire. Had a big collision. Both of them were down, and now we're without a third base umpire.
Wow.
Well, I guess they have an alternate. So, by the way, David, enjoying seeing you here tonight. I don't think you've been on our chat before, so appreciate you joining us.
Chang can't catch a break, man. He's the Ole Miss shortstop. Like he's taken 2 like pitches to the face this season, missed time with that injury, and now he bumps into an umpire.
Yeah. Yeah, David, I think at one point I thought Arkansas, LSU, Tennessee, were probably the top three most talented teams, and then Texas got in there. I can't tell you right now who's the most talented. I'd have to spend a lot of time thinking about that.
I would definitely keep Arkansas and LSU in the conversation, though.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, a lot can change in a month. I mean, we've seen it down the stretch here.
I mean, LSU could start 3 first-rounders in its rotation.
Yeah, without a doubt. Are you counting Schmidt in that, or Schmidt down the road?
No, I'm not even counting Schmidt. I mean, he could be a fourth.
Mm-hmm.
What is Ole Miss doing? By the way, seeing a lot of short right fielders this weekend. Have you noticed that?
What do you mean?
Like, second basemen are playing, and this just happened in Ole Miss, like 35 feet in back of the dirt.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of putouts from short right from a second baseman this weekend.
Yeah, Ole Miss has been doing that. I think especially when was Reese at the plate. Like whenever State has those lefties up, Ole Miss has been putting like Udemark in shallow right field.
Yeah. Vanderbilt and Tennessee were both doing it today a lot. I wonder when we get shift rules in college baseball. I think as long as the run scoring is as high and it's gone down a little bit, I would be against that. You got to give pitching and defenses a chance to even the score a bit.
I think that's a different conversation to have. Like to me, college baseball is like trending in this direction. Like it's more and more popular. Major League Baseball, I just think they're looking for answers. I think like Major League Baseball, it's healthy on a regional level. On a national level, it does not exist. Hence, ESPN killing their deal with Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but you're probably right. I think part of your issue at the major league level is the discrepancy between the bottom and the top, what the Dodgers can spend, and what the A's and other teams, the Pirates, don't spend. Yeah. Did you see the Pirates? The Pirates have never handed out a 9-figure contract. Biggest contract they gave out was to, I think, Francisco Liriano in 2014. This according to Twitter. So I didn't fact check it, but Troy Sedvandy's mastered the shift they really have. Vanderbilt plays a third baseman at second a good bit, and they do it between pitches. Like when the count shifts, they will shift their defense dramatically, especially with 2 strikes.
I don't know. It'll be. I doubt that we'll see anything like a rule change aspect of it in college baseball anytime soon.
I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, just because again, this is a sport that is growing eyeballs, and it's just healthy, especially in our part of the country.
Yeah.
And it, like, for the most part, you can watch any game. Like, that's another problem for Major League Baseball. Like, Chris, I'm in North Mississippi. Like, the only thing, our market is the Cincinnati Reds.
What?
I explain that. So it makes that Major League Baseball makes games so difficult to watch. At least for college baseball, everything is on ESPN Plus.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to have, if you want to see every team your game plays, you might need 5 different streaming services.
Yeah, for Major League Baseball, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Have you hopped on the FanDuel Sports app to watch the Braves?
Oh, of course.
Okay. How's that going? I haven't been on it yet.
It's fine. I haven't watched nearly as much as I thought because I've been trying to keep tabs on college.
Mm-hmm.
That'll pick up here soon.
Yeah. I was just curious. I think if people would have had an issue, like we would have heard noise about it, just with the NBA and Major League Baseball, because it seems like for those sports they're trending to go FanDuel Sports app.
Yeah, I have the MLB season ticket too, which is a pretty good bargain. It sucks you don't get your team, but I'm one of those guys that'll, turn on a random Brewers Padres game on a Tuesday afternoon just because.
Yeah.
So,
David Keith Williams, you're making a lot of very good, interesting points about the shift. And I bet if there was no shifting, I bet you would see more scoring.
Yeah, you would. Now, one thing that you're seeing at the college level that I'm glad to see is guys finally starting to put down a bunt or maybe go the other way. Feel like the first few years of the shift, somebody would leave the entire left side of an infield open against a lefty.
Right.
And kids wouldn't even try. And now I feel like you're seeing a little bit more of common sense ruling here.
Yeah. Man, I saw today the 2 games I had, like major shifts. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked in favor of the defense.
You about ready to get out of here?
Sure. I got a super early flight to head back home to make it home for Mother's Day. By the way,
well, I've got to do some.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and if your mom is still with us, be sure you give her a big hug. Moms are the best.
I'll see mine tomorrow. I'm afraid this may be the last one I'll get with her.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, blessed to have her. Speaking of which, I've got to do a little bit of Mother's Day shopping for my daughter. She was texting me as we've been sitting here. Out tonight with friends, so I'll go to go get a gift card of some sort. Hopefully Kroger's open.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow night to wrap up. Don't know the time yet. Probably we will start between 8 or 9 Central. Might go a little later on account of Mother's Day in terms of start time. We'll get together. We'll figure it out. God bless all the mothers here. God bless all of you. Had fun seeing some new faces. David Keith Williams, welcome to the channel. Hope you join us. Randy, Texas Rocks, all those guys here. Quinn, of course, the king of the super chat. We always appreciate you. By the way, get into the membership tier. Tomorrow night, we'll do maybe about a 30-minute wrap-up on Sunday's games, and then we'll do a members-only extra. If I've got a minute, we might dig into regional hosting and NCAA tournament bracketing. I want to have a bracket. But just something to give you a little extra to try to size it up how the weekend ends, because that's what we're paying attention to now, the big tournament, and how does that stand. So we'll do that tomorrow night, maybe some extended thoughts on the weekend in the membership tier. We'll have the free one. So be sure to enable your notifications so you know when the stream goes live. Check our Twitter. When we remember, we'll put it out there. Anyway, God bless you. Have a great night. Thanks for watching our baseball content here at Southeastern 16.